Farm Talk on CFRU 93.3 FM. Welcome to another edition of Food Farm Talk, where we celebrate food and honor those who champion the cause of food in society. Hello, welcome to another exciting episode of Food Farm Talk on CFRU 93.3 FM. I am your regular host, Abdurrahim Abdullahi, and today our trail took us to London, Ontario, where the Precision Agriculture Conference was held at the RBC Centre, London, on the 29th and 30th of January 2020. That was last week. So today's episode is centered around providing an overview and a coverage of how the conference unfolded, letting listeners understand some of the discussions that were held and how some of the showcase of technologies all unfolded during the program. So just to give you a brief background of the Precision Agriculture Conference. In fact, this year's conference was the 7th annual Farm.com Precision Agriculture Conference. And as I mentioned earlier, it was held at the RBC Place Convention Center in London. And in fact, being the 7th time, the conference has actually established itself as one of the leading conferences in Canada in terms of technology enthusiasts and people interested in precision farming coming together to showcase what they have and to learn more about current trends in the industry. Just to give you a brief background, like what exactly is precision agriculture? So precision agriculture is not a new term. It's all about doing agriculture using the right tools to make the right decisions that allow farmers to be able to apply inputs in the right amount at the right time in the right way. And it applies to both crop farmers and animal farming. In fact, this year's conference was themed around dairy, specifically livestock agriculture, and more specifically dairy farming. So a lot of the technology exhibitors were more about dairy technologies, but a lot more of the diverse exhibitions as well as panel and other presentations. So just to give you a rundown of how the program unfolded throughout the 2 days of the conference, before I go to bring you some of the short interviews that we had with organizers and exhibitors alike. So, like I mentioned, the program actually started on the 29th of January, and it started around 1 p.m. where we had the keynote address by Andrew Bowden, who is the Director of Business and Development and Digital Media of Farms.com. It was followed by a series of presentations, mostly the first one centered around the future of dairy industry, looking at the key trends and what's some of the new technologies that are shaping dairy sector. It was given by Dr. Vern Osborne, who is a professor at the Department of Animal Biosciences at the University of Guelph. So throughout the day, in fact, there were a lot more sessions after lunch. There were many other sessions, including the breakout session, which was specifically about different dairy technologies. There was a presentation by Nancy Vander Bijl, who is the North American business representative of Calculus, which were one of the exhibitors at the conference. The second other breakout session on fire was one by Ira Diver, who is the co-founder and CEO of AgroWing. And like I said, throughout the day, there were more presentations that are centered around different technologies and what they do. And in the later part of this program, we will speak to some of the exhibitors who were part of these breakout sessions to talk about some of the technologies they have for farmers and how to actually get in touch with some of these producers. But that being said, the program continued on the second day with a very early morning session that was, in fact, focused on blockchain, introduction to blockchain, which was delivered by Rory O'Sullivan, who's the founder and CEO of Green Discovery. He talked about how blockchains are shaping the agriculture industry and supply chains in the country. And this other session that followed was another breakout session by Dr. Mahmoud Hasbazan, who's a research scientist at the Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada, who also talked about variable rate nitrogen management in farms. Later in the morning, there was another panel which actually caught my attention, which was the Young Farmers of Tomorrow. So it focused on exploring data in agriculture. And the panelists on that discussion was actually Sarah Marquez, who's a master's student at the University of Guelph, Department of Geography, Emily Duncan, who's a PhD and the co-host of this program, Lisa Aston, who is also a PhD student at the Department of Geography at the University of Guelph, and Amanda Hatta, who is a master's student at the University of Guelph as well. In fact, the panel was moderated by Steve Raymond, founder and president, Hometown Ag Incorporated. The entire panel focused on how data will actually shape agriculture, in some of the concerns that are surrounding data and the important role data will play in the next phase of agriculture, in what they call digital agriculture revolution. But more specifically, what are the trends in data usage in agriculture? What usefulness does data have? In fact, is data actually the future of agriculture? These were some of the questions that were answered. In fact, yes, there were a bit of consensus in terms of, yes, data will play an important role, but there's still a lot more we need to understand about data, in terms of data governance, in terms of privacy, in terms of who owns, who accesses, who uses the data, and some of these issues were raised. But that being said, it was a very exciting panel discussion, and it was followed by another keynote presentation, which was focused on Kelsey Berger of Winfield United, who presented on maximizing your yield through data. A lot of discussions, like I mentioned, was focused around how to make agriculture more efficient and what technologies are available for farmers to avail for, to be able to make smart decisions, to be able to practice agriculture in more precision ways. And that being said, the entire program spanned until about 4:30 that afternoon of the 30th of January, where we had a farmer panel with a couple of farmers talking about their experiences with the precision agriculture technologies. Panelists on that panel was actually Andrew Campbell, who is the founder, partner, Fresh Air Media, Belton Farms. We had Justin Hubert, who is Hubert Farms, and Todd Holmes of Homedale Farms Limited. And finally, we had Stan Terwoods, who is Terwoods Farms. In fact, these farmers actually shared their experiences in terms of what exactly, how exactly they make use of precision farming, and what are their concerns, what are some of the issues that we should be looking out for. So that being said, the entire program revealed very interesting trends, but just as we do in all programs that we've covered, we try to speak to some of the organizers and to speak to some of the exhibitors. So first, we spoke with Andrew Borden, who's the Director of Business Development and Digital Media at Farms.com Media.
I'm Andrew Bawden. I am the Director of Business Development and Digital Media for Farms.com. And we're here at our Farms.com Precision Ag Conference. It's our 7th year doing it. And the real concept behind this when we started it was there was a lot of data and information that was out there, and we wanted to help farmers get a better understanding of what it all meant. So there's been tons of technology, but there's not always a clear path to using that technology. So that's why we brought all these companies together, so they can tell their story, so then farmers can get a clear understanding on how that technology is going to help them on their bottom line, on their profitability, on their sustainability.
So this has been an exciting 2 days of events, talks, and exhibitions of different technologies. Can you give us a sense of the people who are here today, like exhibiting, talking out here?
So our audience is probably, I would say, 50% would be the industry, so people that want to talk to each other and learn from each other, and the other 50% would be on the producer side. This year we added dairy because we're in such a great location here,
Absolutely.
And we had the ability to expand, and I think that's added a great new feature into this, because we did some research and we found that dairy producers are the second largest adopter of technology beyond crop producers. So it just made a lot of sense to have them together. There's always waste from dairy, and that always goes on to the crop. So it makes sense to put them together and see how it all comes to. With the exhibitors are companies that are involved in precision ag or precision dairy, and they just want to be able to tell their story, and so our audience knows who to talk to and learn more. Then we also have a fantastic group from the UK, so 15 companies that have come into our conference, and they're here to talk about what they're doing in precision agriculture. There are a lot of new great technologies that in Canada we're not aware of, but to learn about them and see what the potential can be from them is a great opportunity for everyone that's here.
So this is a very diverse conference. As you've mentioned, we have exhibitors, we have farmers, we have even people coming from outside the country. So this has been an avenue to bridge the gaps, to let people who share a common interest to talk to each other. What has been the most exciting thing that you have seen within the 2 days of the conference in terms of how it has spanned out?
Well, we've had some interesting conversations on kind of adoption of technology. I think that's been a real key thing. Who wants to adopt it, and then who owns the information? But as far as kind of really new stuff, I'm learning a lot more on the dairy side. So some new technology from Zoetis, which is really good, and then Climate Field View that's always adding new technologies as well. And then we got to see a little bit from the Winfield R7 tool. So a lot of great new technologies that are coming out. So it's not disappearing, it's getting better, and we just want to make sure that people are aware of what's available.
Yeah, and I know Farm.com has been doing a lot of work to give a lot of publicity to some of these technologies and to help the agriculture industry. What would be your last message to people who are here and people who are not here, generally who want to know about the industry?
Well, I would say what you want to do is you want to do some research, you want to learn, find out what your pain points are, and then see if there's solutions. Because there's a solution here for everyone that's involved in agriculture, in the crop side or the dairy side. So I would say if you can't make it here, contact us, but the best thing to do is, this is our 7th year, come next year, because we're going to have a bigger and better show next year. We already have some great companies coming in for next year. So,
okay, thank you very much. You have heard from Andrew Borden of Farms.com about what went into the organization of the conference, as well as how the entire conference unfolded with some of the exhibitors of technologies at the conference. He also had a message of people who want to learn more about some of the technologies. But we also took time, in fact, to talk to some of the exhibitors, and just to give a rundown of some of the technology exhibitors that were at the trade show session of the conference. In fact, we have A&L Canada Laboratories, we have agcareers.com, AgroWing, Canada's Energy Citizens, Climate Field View, Calculus. We also had FBC, Canada's Farm and Small Business Tax Specialist. We have GPS Ontario, Hagerty Craig Intelliculture, Kenny Planters, Protogrica, SGS Canada, Smartbo, part of Zoetis, Trillium Mutual Insurance, and we had the University of Guelph. In fact, all these exhibitors were there to show what they have for the dairy industry, but it was more important to show what they have for entire agriculture industry in terms of the future of precision farming. So we also took time to speak to some of these exhibitors to tell us more about their products and what they had to offer. Listen to what they had to say.
Hey guys, this is Michael, and I'm from Intelliculture here at the Farms.com conference. Intelliculture is a Waterloo, Ontario-based company. We started about a year and a half ago, and we are targeting towards fleets and opening up the data, making data from vehicles on their farms more available to the farmers. So we provide a small electronic logger that is agnostic to all tractor manufacturers, and that records data about your location, tracks your route, as well as your engine performances, and we provide that feedback back to the farmers and report any issues that are existing in their fleet and help them manage their maintenance. So if you want to check us out, please visit us, give our site a visit at intelliculture.ca. Thank you.
Yeah, my name's Jay Curtis. So we're with Kearney Planners. Kearney Planners is it's a machinery dealership actually near Thamesville, Ontario. So we're at the Precision Conference here in London. So I'm being asked what are we here, what do we represent, what are we all about? So what we are is we're a machine dealership to start with, new, used, modified machinery. But then we sell a host of additional parts, precision planning, ag leader are examples. There's the two primary examples of automated systems that can be digitized. There's sensing systems, they become control systems. They can do a whole range of different things to make the first step in row crop farming, the planter, more precise, accurate, data recording, all kinds of things that make farming better. If we care to analyze and add more data, we can extract that and come up with decisions on how better to grow food. And I think that covers it.
Yeah, so can you tell us a little bit about how can someone locate you? How do people find you if someone has interest in this?
If someone has interest in these product lines, farmers generally, row crop farmers in Ontario, they'll know us by name. They'll see us on advertising. They'll see us at shows like this, at different trade shows, from Outdoor Farm Show and Woodstock, just through to the various farm shows. Chatham-Kent Farm Show, London Farm Show, Precision Planning Conference in London was last week, this show. So that's how farmers get to know. They'll see us through advertisement in farm publications online. Yep, that's how they know. They know from their neighbors too, yep.
So good morning. My name is Nancy Vanderbyle. I work for Cow Coolers, and we have a system that precisely prevents heat stress in dairy cattle. All right, so it's an automated system, fully automated system. It's very, very simple. There's not a whole lot of bells and whistles, and once it's set up, it just works at maintaining the cow's core body temperature. So what we're doing is we're using an intuitive controller that is continuously monitoring the temperature humidity index in the barn. We're using a variable speed, high velocity fan, and we're using a very fine nozzle that produces tiny droplets of water. So we don't have to worry about heat abatement. We don't have to worry about that cow ever getting into heat stress because she's never getting there. We're keeping her comfortable and cool in her stall where we want her the most. And the really great thing is that we're using a very small amount of water and we are not wetting the bedding. So if you have a 95% stocking rate or greater, we're not going to wet the bedding. If you have only a 50% stocking rate and 50% of your stalls are empty and the water's going on them and there's no cows to evaporate the water, then yes, the bedding's going to get wet. But whenever you have a good stocking rate, we're not going to be wetting the bedding. So because a lot of people are worried about that, right? Oh, we're not going to put water over the bedding because our somatic cell count's going to rise and we're going to have mastitis and it's going to be a nightmare. It doesn't happen. And we have customers that you can talk to that will tell you that that's been the incident that they've We have one customer whose somatic cell count is under 100,000, and it stays under 100,000, and he's very, very happy with the cow cooler system. And what he's finding is that he's having less metabolic issues with the cows. The vet's coming less often, and he's spending a whole lot less money on medication because the cows are never getting heat stressed, right? The other really great thing is that we have other customers who are telling us that they used to have huge drops in their summer production, 10, 20, even up to 30%. Since they've been since they've had the cow cooler system in, they are actually finding that they're having constant production throughout the year. So they're continuously shipping 9,000 liters of milk week in, week out, irregardless of heat events. For them, that's a phenomenal amount of money. Like, literally tens of thousands of dollars, right, that farmers are losing every summer because of heat stress and their production levels. And they're also very excited about reproduction. So I've had farmers tell me that, they don't successfully breed a single animal all summer long because that cow is heat stressed. So if you inseminate her and then she goes into severe heat stress the day after you inseminate her or the afternoon after you inseminate her, she can actually abort that embryo before you ever even know that she's pregnant, right? So they're seeing a huge benefit to their summer reproduction levels because the cow is staying cool, her core body temperature is staying down, she's staying comfortable, she's healthier, and so they're able to observe those heat cycles better, they're able to get her bred on time, and what that does, there's so many ramifications to that, right? So if they get her bred on time, they can then they don't have to have her in milk for extra days. She's not extra days in the dry cow pen. She's calving on time, and they're keeping their production level where they need it to be because they have the cows coming in. So there's so many amazing things, right, that maintaining that cow's core body temperature can do for you health-wise. And this system does that for you. Simply, easily, no bells and whistles, and it just works.
So how can people locate you? How can people find you if they ever want to know more about this system or
So we're on the web, so www.cowcoolers.com. That's our website. Our phone number is 1-800-1844-GET-COOL, KUHL. So super easy to find us. The website's great. It's interactive. There's lots of articles on it and cool results from customers. So I would say go to the website. The 1-844 number comes directly to me, so you'll be talking to me if you call the 1-844 number. And Coolers is spelt with a K, KUHLERZ, Cow Coolers. But if you type into Google just Cow Coolers spelled COOLERS, you'll still find us. So I would say Google search and you got gold.
My name's Morley Wallace. I own a company called GPS Ontario, and we do precision ag installation of equipment. Our main supplier is Trimble out of the United States. We have set ourselves up as a one-stop shop for precision ag. So we do sales, we do service, we do tech support, we do the training, and then we also do then the follow-up to make sure that the equipment remains and keeps working. So we're a full-service operation that we have established. We've been going since 2000, and anything to do with precision ag is our field of expertise.
How does your system benefit farmers who have used it so far, or generally, how does your system benefit farmers?
So the benefit mainly comes, in the past, has come from the accuracy of not overlapping, the accuracy of being able to reduce the amount of inputs like fertilizer and weed sprays, that type of thing, on the ground, and then take it to the next step where we can actually log and create data and data sets so that data then can be analyzed in a later time period throughout the year, analyzing what works and what doesn't work. And then eventually, once the crop comes off, we can take that data, compare it back to our planting and our spraying data, and be able to see where we can improve on that for the next coming year. That improvement could either come from the accuracy of driving, or changing a chemical, or changing a seed to a different variety. There's all kinds of options that way, but without data, without the collecting of the data, you have nothing to refer it back to. So that really becomes the key point for most operations today is collecting the data so it can be analyzed. And once you've got that in place, then we can make dollar and cent productive return on investment decisions.
So how can farmers reach you if they find your operations interesting and they want to find out more about it?
Contacting us at GPS Ontario, either by phone at 613-489-2932, contacting us on the web on www.gpsontario.ca. You can contact us probably going that way first, and then after that we can fine-tune the contacts after that. But we are on the web, we are on the global network, so very easy to get a hold of us.
So you have heard from some of the exhibitors at the Precision Agriculture Conference. We've specifically heard from cow coolers, we've heard from Intelliculture, Kearney Planters, GPS Ontario about some of the products they have to offer farmers. And generally, there were many others like I mentioned earlier, and the conference was overall a success because I did enjoy some of the sessions, and I got to network and to meet and learn more about some of the new technologies in agriculture. That being said, as we run out of time, I'm going to thank listeners for staying tuned for this another exciting episode. And if you really enjoy some of this or you want to learn more about these technologies, don't hesitate to contact farms.com or look out for the websites of these technologies or these exhibitors that are at the conference to learn more about their products and to connect. So thank you very much for staying tuned for this exciting episode. And we hope to see you next week again for another episode of Food Farm Talk on CFRU 93.3 FM.